So, continuing our 11th annual Brand X Reviews Halloween special. For this one, we're going to be talking about, I wouldn't quite say an 80s classic. It's a movie called Chopping Mall. It came out in 1986. I'll just play a bit of the trailer so you can get the gist of it.
What's that? Robot blood.
You can kind of get the idea from the trailer what kind of movie it is. Killer robots in a shopping mall, hence the name of the film. Chopping Mall. Very funny, you can see what they did there. We're going to talk about that today.
Where shopping costs you an arm and a leg.
Right, recording. So today we have the core.
Yes.
So we're going to talk about a movie that I didn't even know about until a couple of years ago. A cult classic from the 80s, I suppose you might call it, and that is Chopping Mall. So this is one I think you said you might have rented or something as a kid.
Yeah, like I say, definitely familiar from somewhere. Like, I can't think,
Yeah.
like I say, maybe I've rented it. It's like the sort of shit they would have had in like 3Ds or Global.
Yeah. The audio's cutting out a little bit, but I'll tell you if it goes really bad. Yeah, so this movie, it's another one with Barbara Crampton in it, and yes, she gets her tits out in this one. What a shock!
Yes.
Any Topher jokes there? No. So basically, the concept of it is it's in like it's a mall, isn't it? It's the same mall that was used in the film Commando as well, and you can tell because like it was even the same like era pretty much. Looks very similar to what it did in that. It's a low budget film, similar sort of concept to Short Circuit. You've got these like robots that suddenly come to life. These are just security robots that look after the mall after closing hours. And there's a group of youngsters, sort of late teens, early 20s, I think, supposed to be, that are staying over in one of the shops and just kind of partying. And these robots suddenly turn into like really evil, sort of Terminator type robots, and decide to just go on the rampage and just just view everybody as a threat and just start lasering them.
Yeah, totally like legitimate. Like, don't vary all lasers. 1 minute will hit somebody and cause like redness and swelling. The next minute will make somebody's head explode. It's like those are very inconsistent fucking lasers. What the fuck?
Yeah. This was put out by was it Roger Corman or his his whole production thing from memory. I know the name Corman was was in
Pretty
there
much getting
somewhere.
confused because you watched it with the core.
And you're a man, of course. So yeah, we
Yeah.
watched this last week, didn't we? And pretty good film though. I mean, I'd recommend it. It's low budget and so on, but
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned the Terminator, 'cause if you actually see the like box art for it, it's got this really obviously like mechanical, like full on robot hand, like holding up like a shopping bag full of like blood and viscera and all this, and like organs and all this. And it's like, yep, that never even remotely happens in the film. These things do not have hands or anything that could be
yeah, well, that
described
was
as hands.
No, exactly. I mean, that was quite a common thing back in the day as well, wasn't it? Because I remember I've got it around here somewhere. Ghoulies. That was the film Ghoulies, where the poster for that was quite notorious because you had the thing kind of coming out of the toilet. Well, that was Ghoulies too, but it was like that. But that was never actually in the film. It was just the poster. So they actually ended up going back and like doing a scene for it and then putting it into the film. Because that poster was quite popular. But same with this, the poster doesn't really depict what you actually see in the film. Now,
So I'd
the
almost
version of
describe
this,
these as more like they don't look like Daleks, but it's that kind of robot. It's like it doesn't have hands. It's not like anthropomorphic at all. It's just like a little box that trundles around like blasting things, and it's got like a manipulator kind of thing that it can like press stuff with, and you know, this is not a humanoid robot at all.
Yeah. So that's a good analogy, similar to Daleks. So it's got Dick Miller in this as well, hasn't it? Obviously, he was killed by the Terminator as well. Dick Miller was in films like Gremlins and a lot of sort of B movies as well back in the day.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the version of this that I got, because from memory it's quite hard to track down and get a physical copy of, so I got an imported Blu-ray. I think this might be German or something like that, but it does play in you know, for region B, and you can get English audio on it, and there's no forced subtitles. Although it does start to play with foreign, because we started watching it, it was like yeah. On it.
I'm like, no.
Like change the settings. I can't really.
Yeah, it is one of the more. I mean, it's definitely cult, but it is like cult in the. Not many people have heard of it, and like cult, like The Evil Dead, where you know most people have heard of it, even though it is kind of like a cult film as well. I think Chopping Mall is a bit more obscure.
Yeah, it's got the actress Mary Wordnov in it, and she was in the film Night of the Comet. Because we were like watching it thinking, I'm sure I recognise her from something, and I was sort of remembering Night of the Comet, and yeah, she was in that, which was another film around the same time, wasn't it?
And it's like, it could be her, I'm not discounting it, but at the same time, that haircut, it could be what you're recognising.
Yeah,
it is the fucking 80s.
Yeah. Maybe we can talk about Night of the Comet in a future year. We can watch that next time we're having an SJS. But yeah, so there's not really much to say about this. We just kind of wanted to talk about it, so we'll keep this video fairly short. But it fits in with the Halloween horror series because it's a horror movie. There's quite a lot of like gore and stuff in it as well. Some nasty death scenes as well. People getting like set on fire and so on.
Yes.
So it's one we recommend anyway. So we'll cut it short there, but because like I said, there's not too much. It's a very short film as well. Actually, it was only 77 minutes. That's like an hour and 15 basically. So it's got a pretty cool score from memory as well, hasn't it? Like a fairly catchy score.
Yes.
So yeah, there's quite a bit of talent went into it, even though it's a fairly cheap movie and one that's not quite well talked about. So right, well, we'll
I'm pretty sure I've seen it as like a kid, and I remembered it because more recently I've seen like another guy who does like specifically like cult movies talking about it. And when I was watching it, I'm like, shit, I'm pretty sure I've seen this one as a kid. And then when you like, oh yeah, it's Chopping Mall, I'm like, oh yeah, shit, I know that one.
Yeah, so we'll leave it there. Tomorrow night is Halloween. We're going to be talking about not a specific movie, but we'll keep the theme of it until tomorrow night when it goes up. But yeah, it should be a good one. We've got plenty to say in the next one. So I know this video has been a bit short. We haven't had too much to say, but we kind of thought we'll just give this movie a mention and a recommendation.
Yeah, Halloween, where Buff gets scared of things that go bump in the night.
And that was just the Topher. Right. On that note, on Topher and Buff jokes, we got to work one in every year. So yeah, we'll leave it there.
Why yes, brother. The Topher did jize. Yees.